The anti-Waqf protests were taking place in Lucknow. Let's show you the visuals where Hamas, Hezbollah posters have surfaced. What is this protest about? Is this really against the Waqf amendment law? Posters of Ismail Haniyeh have been waved. Hassan Nasrallah posters have emerged. This is the anti-Waqf protest that was taking place. My colleague Adib is joining us on the broadcast with the details. Adib, this raises several questions. What is the protest really about? Hamas and Hezbollah posters also being witnessed in the anti-Waqf protest. Where is this protest from? What are the details? Who was protesting here with these posters?
Well, Pratibha, see, the Shia community in Lucknow, they were protesting against the Waqf amendment bill after the Friday prayers. They first said that they are going to protest against Saudi Arabia, but suddenly some of the people, they brought the Waqf, the anti-Waqf bill protest posters, and they started protesting against the Waqf Amendment Act. And between these protests, there were some people who were holding the posters of Hamas and Hezbollah leaders. So the Shia community, which was being led by Maulana Kalvijawad, they were protesting inside the Bada Imambara, which is also a property of the Husainabad Trust, and they were protesting inside that particular property. But at that particular time, some people, they were holding the posters of against the Waqf bill.
Rakesh Tripathi of the BJP is with us. Adib, I'll come back to you in just a moment. Anti-Waqf protests were taking place, Rakesh ji, but what we are seeing in the visuals are posters in support of Hamas and Hezbollah.
देखिए, ये बात तो स्पष्ट हो जा रही है ना कि इसमें वक्फ का विरोध नहीं है। ये वही जाहिलियत भरी सोच है जो जाहिलियत भरी सोच कभी हमास के साथ खड़ी हुई दिखाई देती है, कभी कसाब के साथ खड़ी हुई दिखाई देती है, कभी आतंकियों के साथ खड़ी हुई दिखाई देती है। इस जाहिलियत भरी सोच से मुझे लगता है पूरे हिंदुस्तान को लड़ने की आवश्यकता है, क्योंकि इस देश की धरती पर आतंक के मंसूबे रखने वाले या आतंक को समर्थन करने वालों के प्रति किसी प्रकार की कोई सहानुभूति नहीं हो सकती है। ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। आपको अगर वक्फ के मसले पर किसी प्रकार का कोई प्रतिरोध करना भी है तो आप संवैधानिक लोकतांत्रिक दायरे में कर सकते हैं, लेकिन आप आतंकियों के फोटो लहराइए, आतंक के समर्थकों के आप महिमा मंडन करिए, यह स्वीकार नहीं किया जाएगा। निश्चित तौर पर इसको पर प्रशासन को कठोर एक्शन लेना चाहिए। ऐसे लोगों को चिन्हित करना चाहिए कि कौन कौन लोग आतंकियों के, आतंक समर्थकों के सिंपैथाइजर हैं। ऐसे लोगों को बेनकाब करना चाहिए और उनके खिलाफ कठोरता से कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए।
जी, और राकेश जी, अगर आप ये विजुअल देखें, एक आदमी है, one of the protesters is holding these posters and not one person from the crowd says anything. These posters are being held up, Hamas terrorists being held up in this protest, and not one person raises any objection to it.
कहीं अगर भीड़ से कोई व्यक्ति इस प्रकार का एक्शन कर रहा है और उस भीड़ में किसी प्रकार की कोई आपत्ति नहीं है, तो ये माना जाना चाहिए कि इस पूरी भीड़ की सामूहिक मंशा इस प्रकार की है, और इसलिए इस पूरी भीड़ को, इसके चेहरों को चिन्हित किया जाना चाहिए। इन सबके विरुद्ध कार्रवाई की जानी चाहिए, क्योंकि इस देश की धरती पर अमन चैन की बात होती है। भारत बुद्ध की बात करता है, भारत कभी भी हम हिंसा का समर्थन करता है, कभी भी हम हिंसा के समर्थक नहीं हो सकते हैं। और जिस तरह से हिजबुल्लाह हो चाहे हमास हो, ये आतंक व्याप्त करने वाली संगठन रहे हैं, और ऐसे संगठनों के सिंपैथाइजर अगर भारत की भूमि पर है तो निश्चित तौर पर ये भारत के लिए चिंता का विषय है, ये शासन प्रशासन के लिए चिंता का विषय है। ऐसे लोगों को चिन्हित करके और उनको ये निश्चित तौर पर समझाइश देने की आवश्यकता है कि आप जिनका पोस्टर लेकर के खड़े हैं, उनके पोस्टर के लिए स्थान भारत की जमीन पर नहीं हो सकता।
Ji, all right. Rakesh Tripathi ji, thank you for joining us. Mr. Vikram Singh is also on the broadcast with us. Mr. Vikram Singh, this is extremely shocking. This was an anti-Waqf protest that had been called, and a man can be seen holding posters of Hezbollah and Hamas as if they are some heroes, and there are others who are staying absolutely silent as if in support of this.
This is absolutely condemnable, shameful and disgraceful and unacceptable. I would advise the Lucknow police to register a case against them, and since it is a collective protest, you are entitled to have a peaceful protest as per the provisions of the rule of law after taking permission. But displaying the photographs of Nasrallah, the Hamas and other objectionable leadership there is in extremely poor taste. I don't know what the leadership was doing, but they have landed themselves in a terrible, terrible embarrassment, and they have a lot of explaining to do now. The police should take video and photographic evidence, identify those who were spotting and display photographs of these international terrorists and take them to task in a major way, because this is totally unacceptable. We cannot have people like Nasrallah being branded as a hero, because we do not subscribe to the philosophy of Hamas, Hezbollah and the like.
Okay, all right. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Vikram Singh. As you saw the visuals on the screens, Hamas and Hezbollah posters have surfaced in the anti-Waqf protest. Adib continues to stay live with us. And Adib, you were bringing us information of where exactly this protest was held, who were the people who were part of the protest, when was this protest call given, what are the details?
Well, Pratibha, see, the protest was being led by Maulana Kalvijawad. He's the senior cleric of the Shia community, and they were protesting against the Waqf Amendment Act after the Friday prayers in the Asifi Mosque campus. Now, this mosque campus is situated inside the Bada Imambara complex, which is an ASI protected monument, but they are allowed for the prayers by the ASI. And now they were protesting inside the mosque complex, and they said that they are going to protest against the Saudi Arabia. But during that protest, some of the people, they were holding the posters of Waqf Amendment Bill, saying that they are against the Waqf Amendment Bill. And in between that protest, a person has been seen who is holding the poster of the terrorist of Hamas and Hezbollah. So now the police, the Lucknow police, they have to take the suo motu cognizance on this incident because they were brandishing the posters of terrorists inside the monument, and while they were protesting. They say, this Shia community says that they were they were holding their protest as it is their right in the constitution. But what the mistake that they have done is that they were holding the photographs of the terrorists of Hamas and Hezbollah. Both are the terrorist organizations, and these people from the Shia community, they were holding the photographs of the terrorist Hamas of the Hamas and Hezbollah. And in fact, no one from that particular crowd objected to those photographs to the person who was holding these photographs. They should have objected. In fact, Maulana Kalvijawad himself should have objected to that particular photograph being publicized at that particular point of time, Pratibha.
Absolutely, and no action was taken. And it begs the question, are these the heroes for the protesters? They are holding on to these posters. They are being held out as heroes. And a person can be seen holding out those posters, standing right in the front while the protest is going on, not one person objecting to it, which raises these questions. What is this protest really about? Isn't it, Adib?
Well, definitely, Pratibha. See, this is the question that the people from the BJP is going to ask, that in the name of the Waqf, they are in fact supporting the terrorist organization. And when a person in the very front row is holding a photograph of the terrorist organization, he's trying to brandish the image of the terrorist leaders, such as the leaders of the Hamas and Hezbollah. And this is not that he's holding it in the back of the line, but he's standing in very front line, and he's holding that poster, showing it to the entire media, those who were present at that particular time. And he's waving that photograph of time and again. He has been seen multiple times waving that photograph. And that person clearly knows that he's holding the photograph of Hezbollah chief, of the leaders of Hezbollah and Hamas. And these are the terrorist organizations. So they knew it very well that they are holding the photographs of terrorists. And now the BJP is going to train the guns at the Muslim community, saying that in the name of the Waqf Amendment Act, when they are protesting against the Waqf Amendment Act, in fact, they are trying to support the terrorist organization. So these are the claims that the BJP is going to train their guns at the Shia community and the Muslim community for this kind of protest that they have done in Lucknow today.
Okay, all right. Adib, can you give us any details of whether any action has been taken in this regard?
Well, Pratibha, as per the police sources, and now the police is saying that they are going to review the footages of that particular protest. In fact, the people from the local intelligence unit were present at that particular time. So they are saying that they are going to review the footages, and based on the footage, they are going to take the action against that concerned person who was holding that photograph of the terrorist organization.
All right. Stay with us. Pradeep Bhandari of the BJP is also with us. Pradeep, what does this indicate? This was an anti-Waqf protest that had been called, but Hamas and Hezbollah posters surface in these protests.
It only tells you that the devious agenda of All India Muslim Personal Law Board and the Congress party is nothing but to promote appeasement and to spread panic and promote terror. This also tells you that if you recall and remember that similar protests were carried out in Jammu and Kashmir few days back, which were backed by Mehbooba Mufti. The reality is on the ground, the Congress party understands and realizes that the poor belonging to the minority community or belonging to any community is with the Waqf Amendment Bill and is with the reform. They are following the same modus operandi that they tried to follow after the CA protest, after the CA Amendment Bill was passed. The people of India defeated them after that successfully, and now the people of India have taken the resolve to defeat this extremely big conspiracy. And Rahul Gandhi in the past has reiterated that he wants to fight the Indian state by spreading anarchy in the name of Waqf protest. Rahul Gandhi through his B team AIMPLB is attempting to do so.
Okay, all right. Stay with us. We have Mohsin Raza also joining us on the broadcast. Mohsin Raza ji, if you saw the visuals, in these visuals you can see बुलाया गया था उनको ये कह के कि ये anti-Waqf protest है, but we are seeing the posters of Hamas and Hezbollah there.
देखिए, ये जो भी इस तरह के प्रोटेस्ट हो रहे हैं, इस पर एजेंसियां भी हमारी नजर रख रही हैं और रखना भी चाहिए, क्योंकि इन प्रोटेस्ट की आड़ में कौन कौन लोग शामिल हैं। जिस तरह से ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड कॉल दे रहा है, कभी तृणमूल कांग्रेस के प्रोग्राम में, इस तरह से मुंबई में जो उनकी असदुद्दीन ओवैसी की पार्टी है, लेकिन इसके बीच में कौन लोग हैं जो इस तरह का माहौल, ये तो हमारे मुस्लिम समाज के उत्थान और कल्याण के लिए, उनके वेलफेयर के लिए ये अमेंडमेंट लाया गया है, ये उनकी मांग पर लाया गया है। ये तो कांग्रेस ने कभी किया नहीं, ये तो सारी इनकी टूल किट है। बल्कि हम तो यूं कहते हैं कि ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड ना कहा जाए, ये एक विपक्ष है पूरा। अगर इसको आप बात करें तो ये हमारा पूरा विपक्ष इसमें शामिल है, सबके नेता इसमें शामिल हैं। ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड के जितने भी मेंबर हैं, वो कांग्रेस, सपा और तृणमूल कांग्रेस और ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड, खासकर AMIM जो है उसके मेंबर हैं। तो ये सारे लोग जो हैं ये नेता हैं, लेकिन इनके साथ में जो लोग आ रहे हैं वो कौन लोग हैं, जो लोग काली पट्टियां, क्योंकि आम मुसलमान देश का इनके साथ नहीं है, तो इसका मतलब है घुसपैठियों को ला रहे हैं क्या साथ में वेस्ट बंगाल में। और अगर उत्तर प्रदेश में देखें तो ये जो धरने प्रदर्शन हुए, काली पट्टी बांधी गई, तो ये काली पट्टी बांधकर आप जो लोगों को साथ में ला रहे हैं, ये कौन लोग हैं? क्योंकि आम मुसलमान तो इससे खुश है, इस अमेंडमेंट से आम मुसलमान को फायदा होने जा रहा है, लेकिन जिनको नुकसान हो रहा है, जो लोग इसमें अपना जो भी बिजनेस कर रहे थे, उनका बिजनेस अब बंद होने वाला है, क्योंकि उन्होंने गरीब मुसलमानों का हक छीन लिया था। तो इसलिए ये मानकर चलिए कि ये सारे के सारे विपक्ष के लोग हैं जो एक ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड में एक कुछ मजहबी रहनुमा बनकर जो दिखा रहे हैं, ये दरअसल मजहबी रहनुमा नहीं है, ये पॉलिटिकल पार्टियों के रहनुमा है और उन्हीं ने ही इनको भेजा है। ये टूल किट है सब पार्टियों की, ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड।
Okay, all right. Mohsin Raza ji, thank you for joining us. It's an agenda that is being pushed and it has now been exposed. That's the charge by the BJP. Look at the posters on the screens. This is the anti-Waqf protest taking place, and yet you see posters. Are these the heroes of the protesters? Hamas and Hezbollah posters that have surfaced. Ismail Haniyeh as well as Hassan Nasrallah posters have emerged in these protest sites. Adeep continues to stay live with us. Adeep, what more can you add?
Well, Pratibha, see, the Shia community, they were protesting against the Waqf Amendment Bill, and at that particular time, a person in that protest is holding the photograph of the Hezbollah leaders and Hamas leaders. And they knew it exactly that they are holding the photographs of Hezbollah and Hamas. So now, on the one hand, they are saying that this is the protest against the Waqf Amendment Bill. They are protesting against the Waqf Amendment Act, and on the other hand, they are holding the photographs of the terrorists of Hamas and Hezbollah. And now the Shia community leader Maulana Kalvijawad, he was in fact present at that particular time. He was leading the protest. He should have objected to the kind of photograph being used by the protesters, by the people who were there to protest against that particular bill. But in fact, no one in that particular protest, in fact, the senior clerics such as Maulana Kalvijawad objected to it, and they went on to protest against Waqf Amendment Bill while holding the photograph of Hezbollah, of the leaders of Hezbollah and Hamas. So now it's up to the Lucknow police that they'll have to take their action against the person who was holding that particular photograph in his hand. and the police is going to review the footages, the visuals and the local inputs from the LIU, and based upon that information, they'll have to take the action against the person who was holding the photograph of Hezbollah and Hamas.
Okay, all right, Adeep, thank you for joining us with those details. So, viewers, look at the visuals that are on the screens. These are the posters that many of these protesters were holding on to. Now, look at the posters on the screen. Hassan Nasrallah being hailed as a hero. And he is being hailed as a hero. These terrorists are being hailed as heroes during the protest. And the man who is holding this poster can be seen right at the front. And not a person raises objection to it. The BJP says that this is the mindset of the opposition, of those who are refusing to accept these amendments. This is the mindset that has been exposed today. Who are the heroes for those who are protesting against Waqf? Are these terrorists the heroes for the protesters? In fact, a big political showdown also expected. These posters were seen in Lucknow. The protests was taking place in multiple locations. We saw protests across the country, and these posters were witnessed with the protesters in Lucknow. With that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.